Today on Sunyshore Station, CGDannyB joins us for a discussion on indie games. Let's get into it. It's always sunny at Sunyshore Station. How's it going, everyone? Fus Force back again with another episode of Sunyshore Station. And as always, I'm joined by the best podcast co-host the world could ever hope for, Tylerthegrey.
Oh boy, I don't know about that one, but looks like we got another guest here today with us.
Spoilers.
What's going on there?
Spoiler alert. They didn't read the title, Tyler. Spoiler alert.
Oh no, I messed up again, didn't I?
Oh, it's fine. We'll make up with it by having a literal god of indie gaming on our side. Everyone, give a warm podcast. A warm podcast welcome. I'm expecting everyone listening to applaud in your car, wherever you're at. Just randomly start applauding. I don't care where you're at, even if you're listening to AirPods like in Walmart or something. Everyone, welcome CGDannyB. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. If I'm walking through Walmart and I just see some older lady just chilling by like the oatmeal.
Yeah.
I'm like, she listening to Sunny Shore. I got her.
Organic.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I didn't know what my intro bit was gonna be. I sat here with like a sad face for a second. I don't know if that's gonna make the cut, but I was gonna be like, you said best podcast host, and then he said Tyler, and he thought he was gonna say me, and I didn't know what was going on.
It wasn't, but now it is.
Boom! Suck it, Tyler. Hold on, what's the age rating here?
Oh no!
I need to figure out my censorship.
Just watching. It's just like someone flipped a switch on. It's like, oh, EXE, running. We're going, baby.
Wait. Fus isn't responding.
Oh, this the part we're supposed to call 911? I didn't know when that
Yes.
kicks in.
Yeah.
That was really quick. Hey, thanks for the time. That was great.
We already have inside jokes on. We've only been chatting for about an hour. But welcome, Danny. We're so glad to have you here, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. If those who don't know, Danny here is like literally a wizard, a god among men. Dude, you were just awesome. The vibe is awesome.
I'm in a space. I had a late night. I slept in. It was 1 o'clock my side. I would have hit in the shower and go sit at the desk. So I'm just like basically getting up.
Existing.
This is awesome. This is my kind of behavior. Absolute my kind of behavior. Danny is a wizard of all things indie gaming. If you follow him on TikTok, which I'll have a chance to talk about at the end of the podcast today, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Literally just hundreds and hundreds of hours of indie gaming knowledge, and Tyler and I are here to pick his brain just for a little bit, and very excited to have you. Formal cordial welcome to Sunyshore Station, buddy.
Thank you. You had messaged me on I think TikTok. Yeah, you're like, dude, you want to be on the podcast? I'm like, I didn't know you had a podcast. Sure, what we talking about? And I was prepared for to be like, what's your take on Pokemon? I'm like, listen, let's rip on Scarlet and Violet. That name's trash. But
Oh boy, yeah.
So we pretty much confirmed you for a second episode where we're ripping on Scarlet and Violet.
Let's do it, man.
Hey, duly noted, marking it in the book.
Love the new Pokemon. Yeah. God, I wish it had more than 3 frames. That's crazy.
Right.
Dude, bold of you to assume it has 3 frames.
Oh boy.
All right, are you ready to get into the interview questions?
Always ready.
All right, cool. Tyler, do you want to start out or do you want me to start out?
You can go ahead, Fus.
All right, cool. So, Danny, I'll ask you my first question, then I'll pass it over to Tyler. Feel free to just, answer however you want to, honestly, dishonestly, whatever you want to do, whatever kind of mood you're in today.
I can lie here? Done.
Yeah, dude, go for it. Gaslight us, dude.
Welcome to the podcast, my friend.
So, my first question is, in your opinion, what do you think is the most underrated indie game?
Oh God, so like all of them, every single one of them. Like, little backstory, we started making content in 2017. We were like a group channel called the Couch Gnomes, and then eventually we kind of like all had different like, I want to do this, but I want to go this way. So me and my buddies all kind of split and have our own channels now. So I went down this route of like, what do I want to do now, like as a solo creator? And I constantly found myself playing like indie games. I'm like, I want to check out this one. Our default for the longest time was like, hey, we beat this game. We still have time left in stream. Let's speed run Cuphead just for the hell of it. Like we just, I don't know. Can I swear? I know hell's like whatever.
That's fine.
Cool.
That's fine.
But Yeah, I at that point was like, I just want to talk more about indie games because there's so many that like I'm playing on a daily basis, and I have people like, what is this game? Like, I've never heard of it. I'm like, let me tell you, dude. Let me talk your ear off because I love this game. So I think almost any game. You're talking about Hades, Undertale. Those aren't underrated. They're perfectly rated. Everyone talks about them.
Yeah.
But like top of mind, there's one that came out this year. It's called In Stars and Time, and it's beautiful. It's a black and white, almost Earthbound type deal where you're playing as like an adventuring party at the tail end of their adventure, like they're about to go to the final boss, but there's like this time loop thing in this whole village. So as soon as the main character dies, they respawn back at the beginning of that day, and it's like, shoot, why did I like watch my friends get stabbed, but I'm still here, they're still over there, and it's like really emotional. I was like crying throughout the whole thing. Fus, stop.
Another inside joke that won't be explained.
I love it. Gotta love it. But yeah, I fell in love with that game this year, and like that's just again top of mind. I could go back through years of games. I'm like, yo, everybody should have been playing this one. I'm playing pacemanmv, which is spelled like passpart out 2 on my Switch, and it's just this cute game where you like, you're an artist who gets kicked out of your apartment, and now you're just wandering the streets like, can I paint something for you? Like, we need a propaganda poster. I can do that. $50, please, just so you can afford a house. It's super cute, and again, top of mind, but I could go on for days about underrated indie games. There's too many.
That sounds awesome. What was the name again? One more time.
The second one, pacemanmv, and it's spelled like passpart out, all one word, and then there's 2 of them. I'm currently playing the second one.
And what's the what was the first one you were talking about? The
In Stars and Time.
In Stars and Time. That reminds me like like ReZero or like a
kinda, yeah.
Like in
Yeah,
that's
not
really
in gameplay
cool.
wise, but like in the nature of the title, it's got this very obvious like, ooh, what does that mean? Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of cool. I like that a lot. That's I'm gonna have to try those because that definitely sounds like something that I would like to do.
And again, I could go on for days. Yeah. If this wasn't a 30-40 minute podcast, I'd be going.
Hey, you're forcing our hand, man. We gotta have a part 2.
There it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the stuff.
We'll do another draft.
That's awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Draft battle. Indie game draft battle.
Sorry, Fus. Tyler won. I don't know.
Dang it! Dang it! Come on, man. Hey, biased, fake news.
It was the number 5 pick. I was like back and forth, could go either way, but his number 5, I'm like, pretty great game. What game was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Go watch last episode.
That's hey.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, he knows the marketing ploys. No spoilers. Go listen to it.
If only they worked in practice. Please just go watch the videos.
Come on. Please, sir. Could you watch a video? Please?
Can I have another?
Like, comment, subscribe. I'll sweep your chimney.
Yeah.
Oh, B.
So
go ahead, Tyler.
So I was gonna kind of move on from that previous thing. So to me, indie games, like it really means like, I guess, like independent developers.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I think. But it first comes to mind like Moonlighter and like Valheim. I don't know if Valheim can be considered that anymore necessarily because it's gotten so big. But I mean, it started with a small team, right? Yeah. And it was kind of kept going forward. But what kind of genre really of or subgenre? Because I feel like indie is also a genre, but what do you find yourself gravitating towards more? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you said Moonlighter, which is like my number 3 favorite indie of all time. I love
it's
Moonlighter
freaking fantastic
so much. It was my. I remember picking it up on sale. I'm like, this just looks cute, whatever. And it was my like, hey guys, I'm going to bed, but I'd like lay in bed, blanket over my back, kicking my feet up, like, I gotta go another run. I gotta keep going. This is great. It's Moonlighter.
I gotta adjust those prices. I gotta get that loot. You know?
Yeah, grandma walking in like, oh, that sticks too much. I have to leave.
Yeah. I was like, shut up, grandma. No one can please you.
Genre though, like it's typically, I feel like saying, everyone likes roguelikes when they play indie games. Yeah. And like, it's not to say that I'm the roguelike guy. There's so many I haven't even touched, but like the ones I do, I like fall in love with. While at the same time, I think often more 2D platformers than a lot of atmospheric things. Like,
I got you.
But then I'm sitting here thinking like, I love Sea of Stars this year, which is just a JRPG. Usually it's the aesthetic. If it's got a cartoony and like really stylized aesthetic that gets me into it, the gameplay is kind of second, and I'll still fall in love with it. But yeah, like Shovel Knight was my first indie game, and that's what was like, it's got that as someone who didn't grow up with an SNES or any of those kind of like, we'll say retro consoles, like I still felt nostalgia towards it. And it was this game. I'm like, I don't have a computer to play these games on. Like, how do I do it? And then when it finally came to Wii U, I'm like, that's it. I'm in. And now I've played Shovel Knight on the Wii U, the Switch, the Xbox, the PlayStation 4, and I've played it again on 5, but there's no PS5 version. So Yacht Club, give me a PS5 version. That's all I'm asking. I'm waiting for him to port it to mobile, and then I'll just play it on there. And like the same thing for Cuphead. I've played that everywhere. I've 200% of the game like 17 times because I'm just a glutton for punishment, and now it's just second nature. But
that game's actually on the list because I do like those types of like Metal Slug style, like kind of side scroller, like, you know, Neon Abyss, and I really enjoyed Dead Cells.
Dead Cells is great.
Yeah, but like even like I know what you're talking about with the art style because there's a game called Dishwasher. Okay. I love that game more than anything. Like it is so cool. I think it was back in the day when Adult Swim was like partnering with companies. They also made another game called Charlie Murder, which was basically, I don't know how to describe it, like Castle Crashers, but gruesome.
Okay.
And just really cool stuff. But yeah, that pretty much answers what I was gonna ask you. I mean, it's kind of a weird thing to get into subgenres of like the genre of indie, I guess. But
like it's so weird when you like this year, 2023 has been probably one of the biggest years of like what is an indie, like with the Game Awards, with Dave the Diver being nominated for Indie Game of the Year, and technically
that was a bigger company that made that one, didn't it?
Nexon owns Mint Rocket, who made Dave the Diver. So even though Mint Rocket is a small team, they're so owned by a corporation. Therefore, like the title of indie is canceled. But then that's where the argument turns into like there's independent game. That's what matters. Even though indie technically means independent, but also it like everyone's like indie's more of like a vibe that it is like a definition. So like we could say Dave the Diver is an indie game, but it's not an independent game. But then in another conversation, those two words still mean the same thing. Just in this case, they don't. So it's a weird back and forth of like, when are we allowed to say it's an indie and when are we not? I'm here like, you know, I love Dave the Diver this year. It still has that indie vibe to me. I'd still say it's an indie game. In a professional workplace conversation, I'd be like, got it. It's not an independent game. Yeah. But for me, in my heart, you know. Yeah. So it's a mess. We're crazy.
That kind of reminds me of like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Is that an anime? You know what I mean? That's kind of like that kind of
the same vibe. You know? Yeah, because like it wasn't made in Japan, but it's got that like edgy,
it's got that vibe,
jawline stuff. Yeah, it does. And like another case of like it's an anime, but like it's not formally definition of an anime. Yeah. Yeah. Same for Teen Titans type deal. Yeah.
Oh, dude, Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans. When there's trouble, you know who to call.
The good ones when you got Hi Puffy Amiyumi doing like the actual Japanese intro. You got the Japanese intro and not the English. Yeah. It's like, we're here. This is peak nostalgia.
I love that. And I gotta say, I really like your reasoning for that too. It's an interesting kind of argument about you know where to draw the line and what constitutes an indie game versus what is, you know, it's kind of a hard line to draw too. I mean, like like who are we as the consumers to draw that line, and at the same time, who are they as producers? Who are they to draw that line?
And in a lot of cases, like Mint Rocket themselves, there was some interview where they said like, hey, we are not an indie studio. So like by the developers themselves saying we're not an indie studio, saying we're not an indie game. That's kind of, I guess, at most the law of saying when. But again, with the Game Awards, like everyone's like, hey, Jeff, you and like the council at the Game Awards kind of make the final decision, like should this or should this not count? And I think Jeff's more in the case for anyone who doesn't know how the Game Awards work. Like a packet goes out to every single outlet, the Kind of Funnies, the IGNs, the GameSpots, and they're like, hey, what would you nominate for Best Indie? And they write in like 2 or 3. I've never gotten a packet. I'm not cool enough. they fill this out and then they mail it back in, and you can abstain from one. So like if your company doesn't really play fighting games, you can say, sorry, we don't have any nominations. Like we have nothing to contribute. So that's why sometimes you see these like variety in games, and sometimes like 10 people voted for fighting games, so it was all Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, and whatever we could scrape from the bottom. Not to say everything else was scraped from the bottom, but hypothetically. Yeah. So yeah, there's always the argument of, is it an indie? Should it stay an indie? And then you have FNAF, you have Minecraft, which very much were indies. Yeah. But now Xbox owns Minecraft, so is it indie anymore? I'd say, in my heart of hearts, Minecraft is still an indie game. If we ever get a Minecraft 2 that is still published and owned by Microsoft, that is no longer an indie. That doesn't count.
I agree.
But even though Minecraft is, you know, gone on to greener pastures and has big cash money in its pockets, not that it didn't before, But I would still say at our hearts, like FNAF and Minecraft proper would both be indies.
Oh yeah, like, and then whenever they start bringing in more people and like crossing that line of whether or not it's independent or not, I think there's a clear line between Security Breach and the original FNAF. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a huge line.
Scale of team doesn't necessarily matter because Larian, the guys who made Baldur's Gate, they're a huge team and they're independent. Nobody owns Larian. So Baldur's Gate's the biggest indie game we've gotten this year. So it's like, okay, does size count? It doesn't. And like ultimately it does come down to, is this company owned by somebody else? CD Projekt Red, independent. Cyberpunk, technically an indie game, but like, is it really? Death Stranding. Like PlayStation doesn't own Kojima. It's crazy. Like I said, 2023 has been like this huge conversation of what's an indie game, and we still don't quite know.
That just goes to show with like hard work and dedication, like anything can make like the best thing. Because like Baldur's Gate is like unequivocally amazing.
Great game. Everyone, listen. So if you're whining that no one played Baldur's Gate, that shows you didn't play Baldur's. Go play Baldur's Gate. You'll get it.
Yeah. I mean, stop being lame. Play Baldur's Gate.
It's so good.
It's a fantastic game.
It is. It is.
For a multitude of reasons.
That could be its own podcast episode by itself.
Carlac, where are you at, mommy? Let's go.
No. You got the Carlac supremacy here.
I do.
We'll move on to my next question.
Bet.
Which indie game do you find yourself returning to multiple times? And do you have any reason why that is something that you find yourself returning to?
Cuphead. Like I said, I fell in love with Cuphead. I remember seeing it, the announcement trailer back in, I want to say like 2013. That might be a little too long, but like I remember seeing this rubber hose, what at the time we all thought was like just a platformer with bosses at the end. Like, this is going to be fun and cool. And then when the game finally released in 2017, me and my buddy, we were, again, just starting YouTube. We're going to do a whole Let's Play of this, not knowing how hard this game was going to be. We jump into the co-op and we beat the root pack. Like, this isn't so bad. We could do this. And then we get Ribby and Croaks. We get Hildeberg. We get Cagney Carnation. And we're like, oh my God, this is so difficult. And like our Let's Play, now I could beat Cuphead in like hour and a half if I just like steamroll, power through, have a good run. But like I remember spending hours, and like that's counting footage that wasn't edited out, of like me fighting Dr. Kale and Grim Matchstick in Cuphead, and I'm like, this sucks so much, but I want to beat them. And then I'd go home and like load up the game again in a new profile to practice. I'm like, God, so he shoots this if I look this way and dodge this way. And then it just became second nature. Like, this game is just burned. There's a section of my brain that is eternally just a box for Cuphead that can be unlocked at any moment. And I fell in love with the game. And like I said, anytime we're streaming and it's like, oh, we still have an hour? Yeah, let's boot up Cuphead real quick. And we'll just power through it. If stream runs long, yeah, we're playing Cuphead. It's fine.
That's constantly awesome. I want to tell you a quick story about Cuphead since you love it so much. So one of my friends in college was a huge Cuphead like fanatic. This was right around the time it was still kind of young, because I graduated in college in 2019. Okay. So it was right around the time that was still kind of young. Yeah. And our final project for one of the classes was to create like a diorama of like some kind of topic for the class. Okay. And this was amazing. My buddy, he did his diorama in the style of Cuphead. It was so all these historical figures that we've been studying in the style of Cuphead. It was amazing. It was a work of art, and the professor bought it off of him. It was awesome.
No shit, damn.
yeah, it was awesome.
Listen, if there's pictures, I got to see this. This sounds amazing.
I think I could try to find it. I have to message him and be like, hey, do you still have a picture of that like amazing work of art you did?
Yeah, I've got a Cuphead addict who wants to see it. Yeah.
Right?
Cuphead's rocks.
Oh my.
Go play Cuphead. Beat your head into a wall for a while. It's great.
My wife and I have been doing a lot of couch co-op.
Yeah.
And like that game, definitely, I keep on seeing it and I'm like, this game looks a lot of fun. Yeah. And like, if it's going to be couch co-op, I don't know, if like it'd be a lot of fun to play with her.
Yeah, I think it's a blast. It definitely is. Like, it's difficult. And like, I say that now as someone who's learned all the movements, and still like I have like, this one's gonna piss me off for a minute, but I can get in like 3 or 4 runs. But like, it has that Dark Souls mentality of like, this is gonna be hard, but when you finally beat it, like, it's there.
I know that mentality very well.
But it's how quick you can get back to it. My big thing with like Souls games is like, I have this terrible history with Bloodborne where I love that style of the game, But I remember my buddy's like, we can do co-op, we just have to get to a certain point. And I walk down this staircase, and there's just some big gremlin-looking dude in the corner, like... And I'm like, I don't really want to mess with that guy. And all of a sudden, I get like rubber banded to him. He takes out a big sword and just slits my throat. And I'm like, buddy, I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm pissed off now. I hate this.
Yeah.
And like I try them all, Sekiro, Elden Ring. I'm like, I see why people like them. Just I'm good. I don't really want to.
With Elden Ring, I'll say we all did the buddy butter stuff, like we call it buddy butter, so the little thing you put on the ground and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing. But then, like, after the game had been out for like 8 months, they came out with like Elden Ring Together, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So it was like the Skyrim Together and all the other ones, but you could connect to each other without doing anything. And if you died, spoiler alert, you don't have to go back to your own world. And it was like, wow, this is so much better. Yeah, I get that for sure. I'm going to move on to...
Before you do that, I wanted to say, based on Cuphead too, the music is incredible. Like it's
so good.
Chef's kiss.
So good.
And that's all I wanted to say.
Floor Fury in my head on repeat. Cagney.
Yeah.
I wish I had the Funko Pop ready. It's upstairs. I love Cagney's music.
Continue. Sorry.
That's awesome. No, you're all good. I mean, the music is a huge part of all these games. And we talked about art style earlier. Yeah. I could play a turd that crawls across the floor. If the art style's good and the music's good, I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there's got to be a game for that. There's totally need to game about a turd crawling across the floor. I don't know the name of it. They've got
to have one.
But it's out there.
On that bombshell, we're going to talk about this. So, like, we talked a little bit, again, about the mechanics and all this other stuff, music and the art style. But... what can you name, can you name a game that you had played and you're really just gobstoppingly surprised about? Like, the deepness of the mechanics versus, like, a traditional game layout. Like, for me, that was, like, Moonlighters. Because I just bought the game. It was very simple. I thought it was going to be a little fun game. I paid $8 for it. And it's like, you get it to play when you're laying in bed. You're about to go to sleep. And it's like slowly, you get more and more time added in. It's like, I got to go do that. I got to make sure like, all the different things.
Yeah.
So... what is a game that you would say that had mechanics in it that were much deeper than you originally had thought they would be?
Oh boy, I mean, again, Moonlighter for sure. But we talked the year off about Moonlighter. Again, go play Moonlighter. It's amazing, man. I'm sitting here going through like my top games of all time. That I'm again Shovel Knight, Cuphead, Moonlighter. Owlboy is a phenomenal one. Not that I'd say it's so much deep, but it's this gorgeous. Almost 10,000 bit pixel art game because there's just so many pixels. It's beautiful by the team over at D-Pad. It's just stunning. The gameplay, it's a Metroidvania where you kind of just explore this whole world. You play as Otis, who's this like little owl who is mute, so you can't talk.
That's cool.
And your whole like community is just like, oh, it's the freak who can't talk. Oh, he'll never be a real owl warrior, or I forget what he's trying to do, like his end goal. But he meets like all these new friends. There's pirates who are attacking the world around you, and like eventually one of them joins your crew. Spoiler, not really. He's on the cover art. But like it's really dope, and like not so much that the gameplay is deep and it has all this stuff going on, but just starting to look at and like took my breath away. I played it on PC. I own it on Switch and PlayStation. I still haven't played it again, but I know I want that platinum at some point. So like I'm gonna play through it again. Sitting here like, what's on my computer now? What's the last one that I fell in love with? Wizard with a Gun is a great.
That name.
It's so good. Name. Oh my god, it's Devolver Digital Galvanic Games made such a fun game. If you ever played like Don't Starve. Very similar like gameplay style. It's like that
interesting
isometric perspective, but you play as a wizard in a world where like everything's about to implode, and you have to travel back in time like segment by segment to find these gears to like rebuild a time machine so you can go back even further and go to new areas, new territories. But yeah, instead of using wands and everything, cool. You have a gun and you enchant your bullets. So you'll run into different creatures that are like, that's a tree monster. Better get some fire bullets. You go make a bunch of fire bullets. You shoot them all, and then you get a shotgun, you get SMGs, assault rifles, and then after you run out of ammo, you got to go back to your base, and you're on like a 5-minute timer. So you enter the world, go collect all the stuff you can. If you kill some of the chaos, like these big, ugly monsters that are like killing the world, you get more time, so you can extend how long you're there. But as soon as the clock runs out, absolute chaos reigns. The world is blowing up, the ground's imploding, so you have to go back or you die and lose everything you picked up. And like, I don't vibe with survival games very often. Valheim's one of the few that I'm like, this got me. Minecraft in the certain mood. Don't Starve, even though, like I mentioned it, I don't enjoy Don't Starve, and that's not to say anything bad about the game. It's just not my cup of tea. But the fact that Wizard with a Gun is so similar to Don't Starve, but does the things that I like, makes like, cool, put Don't Starve aside, give me Wizard with a Gun all day. It's such a great game.
I love that name. I gotta say, it sounds like an anime name. Like Wizard, that time I woke up and reanimated as a slime, or Wizard with a Gun.
Listen, speaking of anime, it's got amazing cutscenes. The animated cutscenes, beautiful. There's a cool old bard with a banjo or something. He's dope.
I've been adding games to my little store play.
You want a whole screen? You want How to Die, A Hope Beneath? I got Karmazoo, Thirsty Suitors, Lethal Company.
Love Lethal Company.
We've been having a lot of fun playing that one.
It's great, dude.
I have a whole episode talking about Lethal Company by itself. Just because it's
for
fun.
Sure.
It's a blast. We just started using mods the other day, and we had like the Mimic and the Skinwalker. And like total aside, I'm a dumb idiot when we go into base, and I'll like as soon as we walk in, I'm just like, spiders. Oh, spiders! My friend's like, Danny, stop. They're gonna get us.
Dude, I'll tell you, I'm afraid of the fan room. I don't know. Yes. I don't know why. Yeah. It creeps me out. I'm like, I don't know why. This gives me bad vibes.
Yeah. Someone's gonna get me in here.
It almost did, actually. I have a whole clip on it.
I just remember hearing, and then just like a cut off, and I ran out the door, and I was like, well, like we're watching, like, all right, is he going to come out? Is he going to come out? Oh, no, he's dead. All right, let's take off.
Well, the first time I tried to jump over the chasm thing, and I didn't make it because I didn't know fall damage was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. It was more, I'm like, is there fall damage? I fell. I'm like, I think my knees hurt, but I'm okay. And then the next time, I'm like, no, I died. Don't jump. Don't jump.
To be fair, I jumped out of the spaceship as it was landing, and I didn't die. So I was like, okay, no fall damage. You know?
Yeah, I did that once. I got run over by the ship. That was a bad call.
Yeah, that happens more times than not with some of my buddies I play with. Yeah. It's like, wee, and you hear them falling, and it's like, okay, well, we just lost 20%. Cool.
Pick up the body, put it back.
The ship's on top of it, so we can't now.
Yeah.
So, Danny, to close out today, which this has been so much fun. It doesn't even feel like it's been 30 minutes already. It's crazy. I wanted to go ahead and ask you, we have plenty of time for this bonus question. So what Tyler and I are going to do is we'll go one at a time. We'll give you a couple genres we like playing, and I want you to, if you can, I want you to try to recommend us an indie game to play, like each of us, if that's okay.
Oh god, yeah, this is like my content. I guess sometimes I take days to figure stuff out, but I'm ready. Rapid fire, top of mind.
So I'll go first. I'll just tell you a couple games that I like, and then we can let you just brainstorm. It doesn't have to be perfect, just anything that comes to mind.
I'm nothing but perfect. I'm ready.
I agree. So
thank you.
Let's go ahead and start with mine. So I am a huge fan of like a game I return to a lot is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay. I like games that are very story driven, a lot of quest lines, good expansive world to explore with secrets in it. That's my kind of storyline driven kind of vibe. What would you recommend for me?
So you said Odyssey? Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
I love Odyssey.
Okay. I immediately think of like the desert setting, and this not so much on like the multiple quests and everything, but there's a game called Sable, which if I recall is currently still free on PlayStation Plus. I might be lying to you, but it is this atmospheric cell shaded open world game where you play as this like, have you ever seen Journey? There's like the character with like the hood and like the covered mask, you know, we see the face. Similar vibe, not quite as like floaty and cape wise. But like, yeah, you explore that desert. I think you have like a dune buggy type thing where you kind of like sailing through. It's very like glidey and whatnot. Again, not quite as like you're getting in on, I don't think there's combat if I recall. I haven't played it yet. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. That's one that shares the similar open world vibe. There's a lot of open worlds in indies, but they tend not to be as, I don't want to say they're not as robust, but they tend to take a different approach to finding like the magic of visuals rather than like, here's just an entire list of things to do.
Yeah.
Like, again, someone will be like, what's something like Red Dead? Good luck. Go play Red Dead. Yeah, keep it short. Sable. I think Sable's a good one.
What about you, Tyler?
Well, so I like, traditionally, I've always loved Gears of War series, and I like all these RPGs, Morrowind. I kind of started off with that when I was younger, and now I kind of like the Souls type games, and I keep on trying to find something that might be kind of darker. Like, have you heard of Spirit Tea?
Yes, I have heard of Spirit Tea. A little bit problematic at first, but we're good.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I got it. I just interested in that kind of vibe, I guess. The top down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like.
So along with the Soul, there's plenty of Souls games. Like there's always there's a crap ton. The first one that came to mind is called Ravenbound. It does have mixed reviews. I haven't played it, but it's a gorgeous one. Another top of mind one, a little more mainstream, would be Lies of P. I think still falls under the indie umbrella.
I have heard so many good things about that. I've watched a bunch of my friends play it, and they're like, "Wow, this is fantastic."
Yeah, from what again, not a Souls guy. From what I hear, as far as what people enjoy in Bloodborne, they get a lot of in Lies of P.
Cool.
So if you're like, I want some more Bloodborne, and Sony's not giving me anything new, go with Lies of P. Man, I have like Steam pulled up for Ravenback because I want to make sure I had the name right. But I'm like, okay, so then you said, as far as first person like fantasy type deals, it's not so much. And I'm going kind of loose with this one, but Outer Wilds is another like first person one. It's not in the fantasy world, but it is another like time loop type deal, almost like the time loop mixed in with what do I compare it to? Anyway, No Man's Sky. Let's go with like No Man's Sky. Not as like robust with all these millions of planets you can explore, but there's like a deep lore that I've been teased about. My chat yells at me because I haven't played it for him yet. I'm like, I will. It's on the list. We will get to Outer Wilds. I need to. I will. And then you said, so like top down. What was the other? You said top down games like. So I'm thinking like the life sims, like let's go find like improve this house, talk to these people. My little buddy Hank is sitting right here. I can't recommend Bear and Breakfast enough. It is so
Bear and Breakfast.
Bear and Breakfast.
Okay.
It is so cute.
All right, let's check it.
So you play as Hank, who's like this Winnie the Pooh style ditzy type bear. And one day he wanders upon this like inflatable shark thing. It's like, hey, want to have real estate under your name? He's like, I don't know what that. I don't know what that is. He's like, cool.
I love it.
But you live in this forest that used to be like a big tourist attraction, but it's kind of like run down. No one's coming back anymore. So Hank becomes like an Airbnb owner and like improves this one cabin. And as people come and you're making money, you find new locations. You find some in like on the mountaintop, so it's snowy. You find some closer to like civilization. So there's a gas station and stuff. And the whole time you're just improving this place. You go to the desk like, okay, John Johnson's coming this weekend for 4 days. He needs a big bathroom. So you got to make sure you build the house with a big bathroom. You have someone like, I don't like people who are noisy. So if you assign someone to a room, you got to make sure John Johnson's over here, but Rebecca Weinstein, that's probably a terrible name, is in like the opposite side.
I'm all here. I'm here for this.
It's so cute. It's right now it's on Steam, Switch, and PlayStation. I can't recommend enough to play it on PC.
It may be in my, it may be already in my cart.
It's
you
so
already
great.
sold it.
It's so great.
My wallet's gonna be hurting after this.
Yeah. It's I'm playing on PlayStation now. I love it. The menus are a little not tedious, but they're definitely meant for mouse and keyboard. On PlayStation it's difficult because you have to like use the buttons to change which part of the menu you're in, and then use the left stick, so it's got like the Destiny cursor type deal. But then when you switch to the other one, it's like it like double layers. Yeah, it's not great on console. It suffices if it's the only way you can play it. But I'd say if you can play it on PC, play it on PC.
PC Master Race.
For some places. I love it. I love it. It's so great. I should mention I did get a review key for PlayStation, but go play it on PC instead. So.
Well, this has just been awesome. Thank you so much for those recommendations.
Absolutely. I'm sure there's better ones.
5 games now. I doubt it, dude. You're like a god of indie gaming, so.
I try. And there's so many more I don't even like. So many things. I'm like, I could talk about this one or this one. I didn't even think about it. I'm staring at SteamWorld Build. I'm like, ooh, that would have been a good one, but they didn't ask City Builders.
I literally am about to have like so much less money because of all these games I'm about to purchase.
That's the goal, people. Buy some indie games.
Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. Yeah. Well, we're nearing the end of our podcast, so I just wanted to invite you, Danny, to share anything that you would like to share, any social medias, any projects that people can look forward to.
Absolutely. You've all heard me talk enough today, but I'll round it up here. So my name is CGDannyB. You can find me on all the social medias. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Threads. I just got on Blue Sky. I still don't quite get it. I feel like I'm a child at the adult table over there. I don't know what I'm doing. But at CGDannyB everywhere. I've got 3 TikToks. I'm a degenerate, or CGDannyB, Aqua Admin, CGDannyB, and CGDannyB Clips. So Go check me out over there. Right now I'm working on my top 10 indie games of 2023 video that should be out in like the first couple weeks of January. I constantly post about here's 10 indie games coming out for each month, reviews, recommendations. Usually people will comment, can I get games like Doom? Can I get games like Hotline Miami? I'll try and find 5 or 6 games that kind of fit that niche. Basically what we did here at the end, but you know, a little more organized with actual thought put into them. So yeah, if you want indie games, check me out.
Could not recommend them even enough, guys. Just go check them out. Tyler, would you like to plug your Twitch and your YouTube?
Yeah, just check me out over there at the simple Tylerthegrey 927 on the Twitch, and my YouTube is Tylerthegrey with an E, the British spelling.
The British.
So yeah, I don't really have anything else to do with that. Just don't have anything else to plug, I don't think.
And as always, you can find me on YouTube at FusRodab. That's FusRodab. And you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at thefusrodab. Guys, thanks so much. Danny, once again, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yes, thank you for having me. This was a blast. Again, I can't wait to talk about anime and shit talk Scarlet and Violet.
Part 2 confirmed, guys. This has been Sunyshore Station. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Sunyshore Station.